y'all, welcome to Sweet Tomato Vine Homestead. I'm Linda. Today I am in my kitchen, but we're gonna be going outside. We're gonna be making some salsa today. I made some earlier in the summer using my tomatoes from the garden. This time I'm gonna be making salsa using some canned tomatoes. I was given some canned tomatoes, and so I am going to be using these canned tomatoes to make some salsa. You can use your canned tomatoes to make salsa, just like you can use your tomatoes from your garden to make your salsa. And I'm going to be using my Mrs. Wages salsa mix today. This is a quick and easy way to make it. If you have a recipe that you love and that you want to, use it with the canned tomatoes, then that will work fine. But you can use canned tomatoes to make your salsa. And Mrs. Wages has the recipe and the measurements and everything on the back of her package in case you're using that. So that makes it that much easier. So what I'm going to be doing is I have 3 different kinds of tomatoes. I have some whole tomatoes, so I'm definitely going to have to dice these up because the tomatoes that I prefer to use are the diced tomatoes. But I do have some tomatoes that are in strips, and they're in a huge can. So I'm going to have to kind of cut those up some. But these diced tomatoes are perfect for making your salsas. I already have all of my equipment out. I got my jars in the water bath canner getting hot. So the only thing left for me to do is to chop up those tomatoes and put this mix in with some vinegar. Whenever you're using your vinegar for canning, be sure to get a vinegar that says it is 5% acidity. Any of those other vinegars will not work. Your apple cider vinegar with the mother will not work because the acidity is too low. And the apple cider vinegar that you make at home will not work because the acidity is too low. Make sure that it says 5% acidity, whether you're using the apple cider or the white vinegar. Make sure it's 5% acidity. So today I'm going to be using the apple cider for making my salsa. I'm going to be using the white vinegar to clean the rims of my jars before I put the lids on. Okay, so we're going to go outside first though. I already turned my jars off. They are hot. I don't want to get this started before I go outside because what I need to do outside is I am going to cover my trees because we've been trying to get some things done around here. Been changing the vent filters and the heaters, cleaning out like bathroom heaters, getting all the dust and everything out of those because you want to make sure you get the dust out before the weather changes because our temperatures are about to start dipping at night to like 31 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is important to make sure that all your heaters are clean, that your vents have new filters, and that you have, just taking care of the things that need to be taken care of before you get this cold weather that most people are expecting right now. And we are among the people that are expecting some cold weather, going to be getting some 31s, and it's going to be low 30s. I think we got maybe one night of 29. I think I saw that. We are going to do our best to prepare the best that we can. And one thing that I definitely want to do is put some covers on those trees. I put those trees in the garage the first night that we had some low temperatures. That it was like 34 degrees. But I could not keep those trees in the garage. Last season I had a greenhouse that I was able to keep my trees in. This year I don't have that greenhouse. I did not put another greenhouse up because I was just so tired of just chasing that greenhouse all over the yard every time the wind blew, because every time the wind blew it would just be lifting that greenhouse up. And so I was just so over coming out and trying to check every time the wind blew to see if that greenhouse was still out there. Y'all, that is not a good feeling. So I decided this year I was not going to put up one. I'm going to wait until I can get either a good greenhouse or a hot tunnel. So this is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to put those trees out because I can't leave them in the garage. There's not room in the garage to keep them because, as you remember, the last time I had them behind my car. I can't keep those trees behind my car because eventually I'm going to either back over them or I'll just be wore out from moving those trees in and out of the garage because those trees they're getting big now and they are in some huge pots and I'm having to, constantly move those out. I got some pizza in the oven. I think I need to go ahead and get this pizza. Hold on. Okay, I'm giving that pizza a few more minutes. But y'all, also, while I'm talking about that pizza, y'all, it is very important that we keep our food prepped. so that we can be able to, when we get into these busy times, not be forced to grab stuff like, you know, pizza, because I love pizza, but I don't like to eat it regularly. And so I had pizza last night, and I'm about to have some more pizza because of my schedule right now is very, very busy. So be sure that you keep some food prepped. I got my stuff ready to prep. I just have not prepped it yet. So I have to get, you know, you have to prep your food to make sure that during these times when you're very busy that you are eating healthy, because it don't take but a minute to get off track. And right now I'm off track, but I just want to tell you all that. But I'm keeping my eye on this pizza. But as I was saying, I had to go ahead and put those trees out into the, I'm gonna leave those trees in the garden. I took those trees back into the garden yesterday. And so I'm gonna leave those trees out there because last season I did purchase some tree covers. I only got like, I think I may have 4 of them, I'm not sure. But however many I got, I'm gonna put them on there, and then I'm gonna wrap my other trees up. So this is what I'm gonna be doing when these temperatures are in the 30s. You don't want these trees to freeze. That is what you do not want to happen. You don't want them to freeze. So I'm gonna try my best to keep these trees from freezing by wrapping them. So that is what my remedy is going to be, because that is where I'm at right now. It is eventually going to happen where I'm going to possibly end up, and this is going to be a test and trial. I probably won't do it with all of them, but since these are some temperatures that are not going to be, these temperatures are not going to last long. These are going to be some temperatures that are going to come and they're going to go. So this is something I'm going to try right now, but I will be looking for another alternative, figuring out maybe I can get one of these storage rooms cleaned out some where I can put those trees in there, because those trees are going to need somewhere that they can be, you know, protected from the elements when it gets colder and when those temperatures last longer than overnight or a couple of days. So we're going to go outside right now. I'm going to take this piece out and we're going to go outside and we're going to look for those, and I'm going to cover those trees. Y'all just have to have me one slide before I go. I've been out here for a moment, and while I was out here, I realized that there were some more peppers that I needed to go ahead and harvest, and I'm going to put the plants in overwinter. So they did have more peppers on them, and thanks to my friend Catherine for letting me know that I could use those the room in the planters more wisely and put more pepper plants in the planter to overwinter, because I put one pepper in the one on the video that I did, and she was saying that I could, you know, fill this pepper, you know, I could fill this planter up. So I decided to go and get a larger planter, and I'm going to put all of these in here, because it does take a lot of, it would take a lot of planters if you're going to try to put each of your plants in an individual planter. And I already have 4 pepper plants in this planter. So I'm gonna add the rest of these plants to this planter. I'm gonna cut the extra leaves and limbs off and just make this quick. And then I can go back and I can remove my peppers later. But I want to go ahead and take all of this off, get all of the soil off of my, I'm going to get all the soil off my plant. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to trim these roots back some so they'll fit in here more easily. That's going to help me have more room in my pot. So I'm just going to nest these in here. So right now I have 5 in here, and I have about, looks like about 4 or 5 more plants to go. So I'm just take this is like a side shoot here. Y'all, when y'all are taking these plants out, be careful, because I have came across some wasps that are hiding in here. It has cooled down a lot. I had to go in and put on another layer because it has cooled a whole lot. It's not supposed to get down into the 30s, into the low 30s until tomorrow night. But it has already begun, the temperatures has already begun to drop. So I am just trying. I'm out here trying to get as much work did as possible, and I have been enjoying being outside. It feels really good to me. It's cool, but it feels good. I would much rather work outside when it's cool than when it's hot. And right now, as I said, those wasps, they trying to hide. So one was on my hand. I looked he was right there on my hand, but he didn't sting me. I was cutting back a mom, so I think that what happened is he was in the mom and I disturbed his rest. Okay, this plant has some peppers on it also, but the plant did not look that great. And some of the peppers that are on here don't look that great either. I'll take the peppers off and I'll give those to the chickens. Okay, but this plant right here, now these peppers look pretty good. So we're gonna take these in. And I have some that I left around on the south side of the house. And I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get those because I had a lot of plants. There are still a lot of pepper plants. And I still have some more that I'm gonna go out there and harvest. Get the peppers off of and to overwinter them. So it's getting to the point now where I think that I'm about to overwinter most, if not all, of my pepper plants. Because the more pepper plants that you overwinter, the less time you'll have to wait to start harvesting peppers in the summer. You want to remove all the leaves off, and I already showed you all how I was doing this, but since I was in the yard and I had been out here for a while and I had not turned the camera on since I got out here because I had just been so busy and I was scared it was going to start raining at any moment, so I just started working. And the wind has been high, still is pretty high. I think it's okay. I think you all should be able to hear me pretty good. So that's why I said, well, I'll go ahead and I'll turn this camera on and not wait until I get back inside. Okay, so here are two plants that have a lot of peppers on them. And this one is a jalapeno pepper. Y'all look. This is jalapeno. Let's see if I can move you all closer. I got y'all way back there. How did I do that? But these are some nice jalapeno peppers. I don't know where this plant was at. How did I miss this plant? Did these peppers just grow on this plant? Because y'all know I have been looking all over the yard for jalapeno peppers. Look at all these jalapeno peppers. They must have just grown. And then they still had some little babies on here that were ready to grow. So we got a jalapeno pepper. Okay, so I'm just going to nest it down in here. And then I'll just go back and I'll cover these all with some soil. I think that I probably got a couple of more pepper plants that I can put in here. Y'all, I'm gonna crowd it up in here. I think it'll be okay. What do you think, Catherine? You think this will be okay? This one here looks kind of, I don't know, it's just got some dark on it. Probably the frost, so I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna keep that one for ourselves. Okay, I'm gonna go and get the rest of these pepper plants. I got all my pepper plants pulled out of the garden and got them all ready to be overwintered. And now all I need to do is backfill them with some soil and put them into my garage. And y'all, I think I changed my mind. Well, I know I have. I changed my mind about what I'm going to do to the trees. Instead of having them out in the garden, in the elements, covered, I found a little cove, and that's what I'm calling it, that I'm going to put them in, a little nook on the house that I am going, on the outside of the house that I'm going to put them on. They're still going to be on the north side of the house, which is not that great, but they will not be directly hit by the frost. I can cover them and have them in this little nook. And the frogs have been enjoying that area. So I'm going to, I got to clean the area up first because frogs have been there all summer. So now that it has gotten cool, the frogs have moved on. So I'm going to clean the area up and put my citrus trees there. But I'm happy to have this taken care of so that I can go ahead and overwinter all of these pepper plants. So y'all, I have never did them like this before. So this is somewhat of, this is new to me doing it like this. And so we're just gonna see how this is gonna work with all of these. You know, I got a lot of them in here, but I wanna know now how many can I put in here and they survive, because this would really help out, you know, each year. It's a task, but you know, that's what we do in the garden. So it's not that it's you know, so hard that I would not want to do this every year. Matter of fact, the next time I would not wait and do all of them, you know, this many at one time. I would just take them out gradually. But my thing this time was that I was trying to get as close to that frost as I could, and you know, still be able to harvest as many peppers as I could. So I think I succeeded at doing that. And so I'm happy how it turned out. I got a pile of pepper plant over here that are ready to go to the compost, because while the chickens can have the peppers, but they can't eat the pepper plants. So I'm going to be taking these plants and putting them in my compost. Okay, so see, they are all ready now. And now, there are some eggplant. There are some eggplant plants that I want to remove from the garden. I think that I've gotten all the eggplants that I'm going to be able to get off of them. I'm going to go ahead and harvest the eggplants that are on them and remove those and put them on the compost. Hey, y'all. Y'all want to come out for a moment? Let's go. Okay, you such a gentleman. You gonna wait for these ladies to all come out? Come on out. Can't wait for y'all. Kane say he gonna wait for all the ladies before he come out. Good job, Kane. You gonna teach your boys those good manners? Where they at? I see one. Where them other boys at? Yeah, I about made my mind up that all 3 of the other ones are roosters. But right now I don't see but one. Okay, let me go in, y'all. Let me go in so I can locate these roosters. Let me go see where these little boys at. others in the house. I don't see the other two roosters. Let me go in here and find these roosters. Y'all want some food? Y'all already ate. I done bought y'all greens and everything. I'll give y'all some more. I guess it's more of y'all to eat, so food going faster, huh? I'm glad to see y'all ate all those greens. There those boys are. Hey, boys. There y'all are. I better pour the other bowl up. They get mad. There you go. Well, I bought them scratch grains today. This is the first time I bought them scratch grains. I did not even know what scratch grains actually look like because I was trying to get away from the food that has so much calcium in it since it's getting cold and these hens won't be laying. So I was trying to get away from having calcium-rich foods for them. So I decided to go ahead and try this scratch. And it is a treat for adult birds. Now, I have some of the starter feed that I still can give to the roosters in here, but I'm sure they're going to probably end up eating some of this scratch the same way that these other chickens are eating their starter feed because, you know, there's no way to get away from it unless I had them separated, which I do not. So we'll see. I'm going to give them some of this scratch right now just to see how they like it, which I'm sure they will love it. This chicken feed. But it's a treat, so I'm gonna basically throw it on the ground so that they can go and just get it off the ground instead of putting it into the pans where, they'll all be around the pan. I'm just gonna put it where they can easily walk and, just get the scratch. And they seem to be enjoying it. They say it's a treat, so they seem to love it. They even fighting over it. Yeah, I think we're observing pecking order right now. Yeah, I can stand here and just watch them all day, but there's still so much work to do. So I'm getting back to it. This is an update on this blood orange tree. And look at the blood orange that is in here. It is huge. So I am looking forward to eating that as soon as it turns orange. And this improved mild lemon has put off some more lemons, and it has some more that are forming up here. And there are small ones all over the tree. And so I am so excited about this, and I am going to be taking them now to their permanent winter home. I decided to go ahead, pull my tomato plants, harvest the tomatoes that are still out here, because they're probably going to be gone after this 31-degree temperature. So I am happy that we still have some nice tomatoes in the garden. So a shout out to my cousins, Karen, Wanda, and Donnie, making a surprise visit on me today in the garden. I was so excited to see them. I felt like I was dreaming. I haven't seen Wanda and Karen in years, and Wanda lives in New Jersey, so she came a long way. So shout out to them. So happy to see my cousins. Y'all, I just realized I done accidentally made some compost tea. And it's ripe too. I'm gonna go ahead and use it. It was an accident. Okay, this is what my harvest look like today. These are my peppers. This is my tomatoes. And I have an egg in here somewhere. I need to find my egg. It's in the bottom. Okay, well, I'm going to show you all what the trees look like. And here are my peppers that I'm overwintering in the garage. And this is where I decided to bring the trees and put them in this little nook. And I'm going to hang some tarp or some old blankets or something up here when the weather gets really bad. So they'll be covered, and then they'll have a tarp that it'll be like a little greenhouse. I do have some greenhouse cover that I could bring and just tack up here. So it'll be like they'll have their own little greenhouse over here instead of being out in the elements. Okay, y'all, I'm back inside and I'm ready to get this salsa started. I got my jars heating up again because I had to turn them off because we've been outside. The diced tomatoes, this is what the diced tomatoes are looking like. And that is about the right size that you want for the salsa. But you know, I got some tomatoes that are not diced. I have some whole tomatoes, so I'm gonna have to dice those up. I already got my pot on, so I'm getting these into my pot. And I washed the top of my can, so it's good to wash the top of the can. I know you all know that, but I just want you all to know that I did wash the top of my can, because sometimes you don't know what's been, running across this when it's at the warehouse or at the store. So you want to go ahead and wash that lid off before you pour it in there. So these are all of those are some diced tomatoes. Okay, so now let's see what these tomato strips look like, because I have not seen these. This is the kind of can opener that I use. And right now, it don't want to. Okay. I always keep these because I feel like a electric can opener might not be of any service to me. I could invest in an electric one just to have, when the power, well, I know power is going to be on, but I keep these all the time. Every so often I just pick up some at the store just to make sure I got them, so that in case something, some reason we didn't have power, we still be able to use we still be able to open our cans. Okay, so, and see, that's why you make sure you wash the lid, because I got my lid down inside this time. Okay, these say strips, but y'all, these are cut up pretty good. So this is a nice consistency for some salsa. So I don't have to do much to these. All I have to worry about doing anything to are going to be those whole tomatoes. So I'm going to put this whole can in here. I also got a little pan on the stove that I'm going to be sterilizing my lids in. And I got new lids, but you want to go ahead and still, I go ahead and wash my lid, although my lids are new. And then I put them into some warm water. And to me, that just helps them to, loosen that little band up on the top and help them to seal good. That's my opinion. Okay, so next I'm going to open these cans right here, and these are the whole tomatoes. And I'm going to rinse these here off, and I need to turn my pan on, turn my pot on low. So I don't want my tomatoes to stick. I want to make sure I got them on low. And these were seasoned. I remember seeing on the on those tomato strips, they already had some basil in them. So that's just a little added bonus. As I said, those were given to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these whole tomatoes open. As I said, we already know I'm going to have to do some dicing to these. And I had 2 tools out here that I was going to choose to use either to dice them. But I think since I'm not, that worried about them being really small, I could take these scissors and just cut them up like this. Go all the way down to the bottom. You can kind of feel it. You can feel the ones that are not chopped, and just go ahead and give them a good chop. And these probably going to be chopped more than those other ones. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add this. And also you want to add your juice with the tomatoes. Okay, I kind of splashed it a little bit, but okay, go ahead and get these open. And I can hear my tomatoes beginning to boil. And you're gonna bring these tomatoes to a boil with your vinegar. I told you all about the acidity of the vinegar. You're gonna make sure that you have 5% acidity on your vinegar, whether you're using the white vinegar or the apple cider vinegar. And I'm going to use apple cider vinegar. Okay, so I got these chopped up really good. Okay, that is my pot boiling that has the lids in it. So I really don't need those lids to boil. I'm going to go ahead and turn those off. I just wanted them to be just heated some to help it seal. So now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add my salsa. Turn it all around here. I'm gonna add my salsa mix, my Mrs. Wages salsa mix. And I am using 2 because I have doubled my recipe. So I'm going to add the first one. And I'm going to add the second one. The recipe calls for a half cup of your vinegar. But since I am doubling the recipe, I'm going to need a whole cup of vinegar. I'll be using an apple cider vinegar. Make sure that this says 1 cup, because sometimes these, I'm going to have to stop using. They say I don't like to buy cups that when you buy them, yeah, that's 1 cup. That little writing be so small, but at least this one is raised. Sometimes you buy the one that have the letters on there and they wear off, and then, you know, you're going to have to try to remember which one is which. But that one has it still on there, so that is the 1 cup. And so now I'm just going to bring this to a boil, check on my jars back here. Make sure that they're back there and they're hot already. Get my jar. My jars are going to be hot, and my salsa is going to be hot. So that's what I want to do now, is make sure I get that salsa hot, and then we'll be ready to put them into the jars in just a moment. I'm getting ready to put them in the jars. I'll go ahead and get my spot fixed up right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my towel right here and get so my hot jars can get ready to come over here. And I'm gonna take all this and move it somewhere. But I already got my rings. I like to keep them on one of these paper towel holders. It's convenient that way. Okay, so and then we'll be ready to jar this sauce up in a few minutes. Hey y'all, so it's time to go ahead and get these jarred up. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna turn this heat off. These jars are hot. I'm gonna remove them from this heat. I'm just gonna put a couple up here and fill them. Fill a couple at a time. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill these jars, and I'm gonna leave 1/2 inch headspace. Let's see where 1/2, and I just try to remember when I put it on the jar. I try to remember where it's gonna be, so I won't have to measure each one. It's gonna be right here at the rim. And so that is how I'm gonna do it. Then I remember where my headspace is gonna be. And I'm gonna fill my jars. Now this really smells good. And I like this recipe because I don't have to worry about doing a lot of peeling. I don't have to do a lot of chopping. So this came in handy that I was given these. And now I can just use this to debubble. And so debubbling, you're just going to kind of stir it around. You make sure you get all the air bubbles out. And I see I have a little bit of room, a little bit to go fill some more. And so since I put some more in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to debubble again. And then I'm going to take some of my vinegar. I'm going to wipe the top of this jar. I'm going to put a lid on each one, and I got different lids. I've got the large lids, the wide mouth, and I have, this is the regular mouth, and this is a wide mouth. You can reuse your rims, but you cannot reuse your lids unless you are like doing a refrigerator pickle or something like that. I can do that. My fire cider, I can reuse the lid when I'm putting it on that. But when you are water bath canning or pressure canning, you cannot reuse those lids. And try not to hit your jars against your pot. You don't want to crack your jars. And y'all, this recipe is going to process these jars for 40 minutes. So just be sure that whenever you're canning, read the directions and make sure that you get, the correct amount of time for processing your jars. Because it can vary depending on what you are using, what you are canning. Now, if this would have been a regular pickle or something like that, it wouldn't have been this long. But because it is tomatoes, then it's taking longer to process these jars. You should have wiped the rim. It almost seems like I don't have enough room in here. I'm going to have to get another jar out before I can put this in. Seems like these jars are swole up. I'm gonna take a couple out. I don't like it when I'm getting ready to go in with the jar. It looks like I'm not having enough room. And you want to make sure that this water that you are putting, when you're putting them in your water bath canner, you want to make sure that this water is covering these jars really good. This is really smelling good. And y'all, I already knew I was going to make this. I already got my tortilla chips ready. But we won't be eating this until about 24 hours. Okay, you want to make sure you get that rim clean so that you won't have any problems with your jar seal. And make sure that you get a good seal. So make sure that you get those rims of your jars really good and clean with that white vinegar. Yeah. And this little tool is handy for going into that water, because I got my water kind of warm. So it's handy to go in and get your lids. Okay, I'm back to not having enough room. Okay, this is my last regular jar. And the rest of them will be wide now. You want to make sure when you screwing them on too, don't do it too tight, but make sure that you get it, you know, evenly screwed on, where you don't, you know, miss one of the lines, and then you'll end up having your lid on crooked. I'm going to have to heat some more jars when this comes out. You want to make sure that you got your right time, because all that is very important. How long you process your jars for. Another thing that's very important, to make sure that you don't have any broken jars. You don't want to have a, you know, you want to check those jars at the top to make sure that they are not broken, because if those jars are broken, then that would cause you to not get a good seal. And it is very important to get a good seal. You want to make sure that you have a safe product. Okay, so I got 8 jars in here, and that is all that I'm going to put in here, and I'm going to process them for 40 minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, the jars are finished processing, and I have let it sit for a few minutes so that it can calm down. You know, you don't want to just start taking the jars out while it's just rolling and boiling. You know, you want to wait and let it simmer down. And so that is what I have done, and now I'm fixing to go ahead and lift these jars out. And as you can see, these jars have water on top of them. I'm just going to take them straight out of the canner and sit them on the counter. I got another towel. My towel is going to help prevent these jars from bursting when I set them on the counter, because if I took them out of this hot boiling water and put them on the counter, and this counter is cold, it would possibly break the jar. So I want to make sure I have a towel handy. Okay, this is what it is looking like. I'm just excited to have some more salsa to go back on my pantry shelf. And I'm going to let this sit and cool overnight, and we will be ready to eat it tomorrow. Okay, y'all, we got a lot of work done. We are getting prepared for the weather change. It's supposed to get down to 31 degrees. And so we did some weatherizing. We bought our plants out of the garden and put them in a little nook at the front of the house so that we could keep them protected from the frost. We also got our peppers ready to overwinter. I was able to get all of the peppers out of the garden now. There are no more peppers left in the garden. We also harvested the tomatoes and pulled most of the tomato plant. We did not do the eggplant. We probably will do the eggplant tomorrow if it doesn't rain. And we also got the salsa made. And also a special thank you to my friend Annette, who gave me the tomatoes to make this salsa. I'm sending you a big hug, and we appreciate you so much. And I'll be saving you some salsa. It has been a wonderful day spending the day with you all. And I hope that you all have enjoyed this video and that you'll give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and go ahead and hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.